Hi, my name is David Garcia, and I'm the CEO of ScoutLogic. Thank you for joining us today for the next interview in our series on winning the recovery. Joining us today is Taylor Evans, the CEO and founder of Rust Belt Recruiting. We're so excited to have Taylor with us today. He founded his company in 2017. It's been growing very, very quickly as his firm looks to serve manufacturing employers and specifically skilled workforce positions. But the reason we are also very excited to have Taylor join us today is his company's philosophy is very similar to our own at ScoutLogic. They are really all about putting their employer clients and candidates first and serving those communities to the very best of their ability, knowing that if they do a great job there, the money part of this business will follow. And the opportunity for us to get Taylor's observations on what's going on in the market and ideas on how to win the recovery are fantastic. So thank you for joining us today. Taylor, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, we've got 3 questions for you as part of our Win the Recovery Thought Leadership series. The first one is, what's the impact of COVID-19 been on staffing agencies from your perspective?
Yeah, so COVID-19 has been unparalleled. We have seen just a roller coaster of an experience. Mm-hmm. I vividly remember the week of March 16th, the day that everyone came in on Monday, and we had our morning meeting, and I said, we're kind of following the lead of the landlord of the building, relative to the severity of this. And by 11 o'clock, we announced, hey, today's going to be the last day in the office. And I vividly remember everyone walking out at 5 o'clock that day and waving to me, and it's stuck in my mind. And then over the course of that next 2 weeks, we definitely saw a lot of workload fall out. Companies were pulling back and preparing for the worst. Yep. So obviously we started to ask ourselves what's going to happen here. In recruiting and staffing, those first 2 months of the winter, yes, it depends what type of openings you're working with and on, but those first 2 months are March through basically September is prime season for recruiting and staffing, and even there's little undulations, but we were just starting to get to the point in the year where things were going to be shaking and baking. And so, of course, as a business leader, you're sitting there thinking, wow, are we going to basically have a lost year? Mm-hmm. Fortunately, my company is very focused on manufacturing. So we were able to not only sustain it, but we actually saw workload increase at times from some of our clients. Yeah. For one reason or another. At the end of the day, the skilled workforce, especially in the Midwest, no business leader, if they can help it, is going to say, you know what, the first people we need to cut are the welders. Because at the end of the day, they know if this business is going to come back, there's got to be people to make the product. And, this isn't to insult business leaders, sales guys like you and I, but we can be replaced. That skilled workforce is decreasing rapidly, and
we can't weld anything.
I can't weld, unfortunately. So, I would have been disposable in this situation. But relative to my company, not only did we keep everything intact, other than one small change here or there, we didn't cut hours. We kept the team going, and we actually doubled our internal headcount. So I used COVID as the opportunity to pick up what I believe a lot of blue chip employees that were laid off for one reason or another from their previous agency. Obviously, most of them due to COVID, but I just knew there was a lot of good talent out there. And to address your question, I think we see that things are trending back up, and so we're truly busier than we've ever been.
So it's a great segue. Give us a view into Taylor's crystal ball. What's the rest of 2020 going to look like?
Well, I mean, right now, there's obviously some debates as to what the accurate number was, but going off what we've been told, we're at 13.3% unemployment.
Mhm.
I think obviously the workforce just got flipped on its head. There's going to be a lot of upskilling, reskilling, and reshuffling. There's a lot relative to our space. There's a lot tied to whether the federal unemployment benefits get extended, because the type of individual that we work with a lot of times is ranging from $13 to $19 to $22 an hour. So that $600 stimulus really plays into it. So again, we're doing the best we can to find the right people for the roles, but that's definitely and understandably disincentivizing people to actively pursue getting back to work, and especially maybe in another area. But I think we're going to see a couple different things happen. I think staffing and recruiting is going to be more important than ever for these companies to strategically put back together their business wherever they had to make cuts. Again, I know we're busier than ever. I think we're also going to see an uptick, or maybe this isn't my crystal ball, but me making a wish. I hope that this, as people look at how manufacturing was essential business through all of this, people will look at manufacturing and say, God willing, there's not another pandemic. But if there was another outbreak, there is reliable and consistent work in manufacturing that can provide a good living. And so what I'm hoping to see is that a lot of people begin to explore and consider upskilling into some of these skilled roles that are in manufacturing. Obviously, retail and hospitality have been slashed and burned in a very, very painful way. But I am very hopeful that some of those people, especially if they aren't called back here in the foreseeable future, and if the federal stimulus is drawn back, which is, I think, what we're really going to see, they're going to begin to peel back from that 600 or, I'm reading, create a back to work bonus. I think what we're going to see there then is people begin to explore different career opportunities that might not have been what they were in before.
Yeah, and that would be a great outcome, Taylor, and would definitely continue to bolster the American workforce.
Absolutely.
Great. So, so that said, transitioning to our last question, you already talked about how you've used this opportunity to hire some great people who were displaced. Tom Erb from Talent Resources had shared that idea as well on one of our earlier series. So, bravo to you and your team. What other pieces of advice do you have for staffing agencies as they look to win the recovery?
I think there's just an opportunity to build meaningful relationships with your clients more than ever. Your clients are looking for help. I think there's a lot of opportunity to build meaningful relationships with your candidates. This is a scary time for people. People don't know what's happening. People don't know what's next. Fortunately, I think we're all kind of, hopefully with our masks on, taking a sigh of relief. But we're all kind of like seeing the data now and understanding best practices, practicing better hygiene, washing our hands more regularly, wearing face masks. I think at the end of the day, recruiting and staffing agencies can be a voice of, I don't want to say reason, but a voice of a comforting voice to people who are in a really confusing time right now. If your agency is giving you a job right now, you can be there to provide confidence to people that things will get better. You might not have all the answers, and sometimes just as much as important there is to listen to what they're going through. That's probably even paramount to being the comforting voice. But be just empathy right now, because it's a very confusing time and it's a very challenging it's a challenging time in our country. And so I'm just hopeful that staffing agencies, which work in a part of our, you know, part of our workforce that we are a major resource to the workforce, is what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
And I'm hoping that they use that voice and that power and those ears to be a solution for people who are quite simply hurting.
Yep. That's great advice, Taylor. And obviously it's a testament to your firm as well with Rust Belt. You guys take that human-centric approach, obviously both with your employer clients, but candidates and vendors as well. And we're really grateful for that and grateful for you taking the time with us today out of your busy schedule. So thank you, Taylor.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for being a great partner to us. We are thankful that we found Scout Logic, because you guys have done a ton for our business in terms of making us better and making us a better partner to our clients. I know the results that we get and the time in which we get them is invaluable, but above all else, you are carrying the same message we are of customer service and treating us, your partner, well. And that's worth just as much as the results we get from you guys through the work that you do. So thank you.
Now you got me blushing, Taylor. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, my friend, stay safe, and thanks again for the time today.
Thank you.
Taylor, thank you so much again for joining us today. For those of you who've been joining our Win the Recovery series, you'll also know that Scout Logic is offering a complimentary assessment of your background check program. We've done a great job over the past several months helping companies improve the quality and service of their programs, as well as saving some money. If you'd like to sign up for that investment, just go to our website at www.scoutlogicScreening.com, click on the free assessment button, and we'll get in touch with you. Thank you, and good luck on winning the recovery.